Something I've heard a lot recently is that games are not hitting anymore, and specifically for people my age, just grown adults who are still gaming. What they're meaning by this is that they're not enjoying games as much as they used to, essentially. This is something that I've never felt myself. I've played games for over 20 years. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Further, I'm having even better of a time gaming now as an adult than I did in the past. That is not to say, of course, that, certain games won't get stale for me, but on the whole, gaming is just still as fun of a time as it's ever been. However, this is clearly a real feeling that people are experiencing because I see it a lot. My friends in my personal life are saying similar things. There are random people on the internet also saying games aren't hitting for them anymore. And all of this left me with a couple of questions. The first question is, well, okay, why are people feeling this way? Which led me to my second question, well, why am I not feeling this way? The more I thought about why I still enjoy gaming as an adult, the more I noticed that I have some subconscious strategies that I was putting into play to continue to enjoy it as an adult. And so today I just wanted to share those strategies with you, so hopefully you'll be able to get the same level of enjoyment that you used to get out of gaming. I want to be clear though who this video is for. This video is not for people who've simply outgrown gaming and moved on to other hobbies. That's completely normal and absolutely fine. I'm not here to say that you absolutely have to keep gaming. Also, there's a random conglomerate of people on the internet who seem to just want to get online and bitch and moan all day about gaming. This video is also not for them. This video is for people like myself who are in their mid to late 20s and maybe they are not getting as much enjoyment out of gaming anymore, but still want to get that level of enjoyment. Before we get into the actual strategies, we need to talk about what has changed. We got to see how the sausage is made here a little bit. Obviously, if you used to enjoy gaming and you're not enjoying it anymore, something has changed. This is where people lose the plot though, because when I hear people talking about why games aren't as enjoyable for them anymore, they will blame things that are going on in the gaming industry. So things like the increase of live service games, maybe they think that the wokeness has been increased in games lately, which I just fundamentally disagree with, but that's an entirely different video. Or maybe they just believe that bad games only come out now. Or not, only bad games come out now, sorry. This is another thing I don't agree with, because whatever nostalgic time you're looking back on to when you think was the golden years of gaming, bad games came out then too. You just may not remember them, or they weren't as covered because the internet wasn't as prevalent or whatever. But bad games have come out 20 years ago. They come out now. Bad games just come out. It's part of it. What I think is more important is that your life has probably changed over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I know mine certainly has. When I think back to 20 years ago, all I had to do was go to school, do my homework, not piss my parents off, and then I can game for as long as I want. Now, though, obviously I can't do that. I have a lot more responsibility now that I'm an adult, and so I have to go about it in a different way. But there is still a way to enjoy gaming as an adult, even with all that responsibility. So what I go for when gaming as an adult is guilt-free immersion. The first step, obviously, is making sure you can game without feeling guilty about it. The way that I choose to do this is pretty simple. I just handle my business. I don't really know a better way to put that. Essentially, I just make sure that every responsibility that I have for the day has been taken care of before I sit down to game. Like I said, my life has changed a lot in 20 years. I mean, I have a job I have to go to. I have bills to pay. I have pets that need taken care of. I have a significant other and other friendships that I have to make sure that those relationships are getting the attention they need so that no one feels neglected. I have a retirement to fund because I don't want to work until I drop dead. I have the crushing weight that one day I am going to die and that none of this even really matters. So I do have a lot going on. And it's important that when I am gaming that I don't feel guilty about taking time away from those other things to spend it on the game. So the most important part, well, the first step, I should say, maybe not the most important part, but the first step is just making sure that everything I have to do for the day has been handled before sitting down to game. So make sure the dishes are done. I've been to the grocery store, whatever, because there's nothing I hate more than sitting down to game and then being like, oh, wait, I got to do the laundry. Well, hang on. Oh, I got to do this. Because it takes me out of the immersion, which lessens my enjoyment for the game. My first piece of advice to you would just be handle your business. Get everything done you need to for the day, and then you'll be able to sit down and not have to worry about all those other external things The reason this is important is twofold, really. The first is just it's the right thing to do. I mean, I'm not going to let people down in my personal life just to get a couple extra hours of gaming in. But if that reason doesn't work for you, then another reason is because once you have everything done for the day, then no one can tell you, as an adult, no one can tell you like, hey, you can't game right now because you have to do this because you've already done that thing, whatever it is. So that would be my first piece of advice to you to get guilt-free immersion is just handle your business for the day and make sure that you don't have anything to take your mind off of the game when you actually get down to play it. The next step is to choose what I want to play for the day, and this is really important. It's important that I pick a game that I'm actually having a good time with. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, oh, well, of course, you want to play a game you're having fun with. That's the point of playing games, is to have fun. But I cannot tell you how many times I've spent weeks on end playing a game that I'm just not enjoying anymore. For example, I've played Marvel Rivals for months at this point, and I played it so much that it got to a point where I was so burnt out on it, I didn't want to play it anymore. But I continued to play it because I just thought, well, this is what I play. Of course, I'm going to get on and play it. After I took a break, I came back to Rivals, and I was having a great time again. So sometimes I just need a break from a certain game, but it's important to make sure that I'm actually enjoying the game that I am playing. Sometimes I will get in this funk where I don't know what to play. And a few years ago, I came up with a pretty good strategy to cure this. A few years ago, I was playing exclusively Battle Royale shooters, specifically Apex Legends, for about a year. That was all I played. All I wanted to do was just play Apex. But I got, again, burnt out on this, and I didn't know what to play. That's when I came up with this new strategy. And what I decided to do was just play a random game that I would have never thought to try before. That game for me was Elden Ring. I'd never played a From Software game before, and I was just looking for a change of pace, and I played it, and I absolutely loved it. It ended up becoming my favorite game of all time. Now, obviously, this doesn't always happen. Each new game I try doesn't become my favorite game of all time. That would be incredibly stupid. But when I am in a funk, like I said, if I try a new game, most of the time I enjoy them, and even if I don't enjoy them, what that game will do is give me a nice little break from the game I was playing and allow me to come back and be refreshed essentially and ready to play that same game again. I would give you that same advice. If you are someone who plays a certain type of game and that's all you play, let's say maybe you only play sports games and you love sports games, but you're feeling burnt out on them and don't know what to do, I would just tell you to try an RPG, maybe a platformer, I don't know, a turn-based game, something like that that's just totally random and different from what you've been playing. Because the worst thing that can happen is that, oh, you bought a game you didn't really like. That does suck. However, if you play it for a week or two, you can come back to that sports game and then really enjoy it again, hopefully. And if that doesn't happen, you can always try another game. The best case scenario is that you find a game that you just absolutely love, and potentially it opens up a whole new genre of games for you, which is always good. It's always good to diversify the type of games that you're playing. There's really no risk involved here. I mean, I guess you do have to pay for the game, so obviously do that within your means, but I think it's really important to enjoy the game you're playing, and when you don't know what to play, try something random. Try something just completely off the wall and see if it sticks. Another thing I've noticed that I do while gaming is that I will essentially cut my brain into 5 or 6 different pieces. What I mean by this is I will sit down to game, I'll have my game on one monitor, I'll have a stream or YouTube video or something else on the other monitor. Maybe I'll have a sports game on my iPad, and I will also have music playing in my headphones. When I do this, instead of getting a deep level of immersion in one thing, I'm essentially just getting a shallow level of immersion in 5 different things. I understand why I do this because I have a lot of different interests and a limited amount of free time, so I'm trying to check off as many of those boxes as I can in the short amount of time that I have. Doing this, though, is very counterintuitive because I'm not getting any immersion out of any of my hobbies. I'm just kind of staring at random things. What I've recently started doing is just focusing in on the game. I'll turn everything else off and just put my headphones on and play whatever game it is. Now, if I'm playing a multiplayer game or something, maybe I'll still have some music on in the background. That's a little different. But I've tried to avoid having 16 different things going at once because I can't multitask, and it just, like I said, ruins the experience on the whole. I've noticed that this has helped me enjoy games way more. I would give you the same advice. If you're feeling like you're not enjoying games anymore, maybe see if you're doing these things like watching TV or listening to a podcast while you game, and maybe turn that off and focus just on the game and see if that improves your level of immersion. It helped me, and hopefully it will help you as well. So just to wrap things up, the first step would be to handle your business, make sure your responsibilities are taken care of. The second thing would be to make sure you're enjoying the game you're actually playing. And then lastly, make sure that you're actually focusing on the game that you're playing. Those are the strategies I use, and I've found a lot of success with them and enjoying gaming as an adult. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Hopefully, if you've lost your enjoyment of gaming, that these simple steps will help you get some of that back so that you can still enjoy this fantastic hobby. Thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, I would of course appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're someone who no longer games, but you found some cool new hobby, maybe comment that down below, and that could help people find something else to do if they don't want to game anymore. Another thing is that I've changed my upload schedule. Instead of just uploading one video sporadically every month or so about a specific game, I've decided to make a new video every week on just whatever topic I feel like talking about that week. So if you're interested in that, like I said, be sure to subscribe to the channel and you won't miss any of those uploads. If you're interested in joining a community of people who like gaming, the best place to do that is going to be on my Twitch channel. Now, we're a small outfit right now, but we have a lot of room for some aggressive expansion. So if you're interested in that, the link is of course down below. However, if you're not interested in my Twitch channel or even this YouTube channel, I still appreciate the fact that you watched this video. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a beautiful time, and I will see you all in the next one.